Ladies and gentlemen, this is an extremely important story, and it just highlights the fact that for the past 4 years, media has just overtly lied about almost everything pertaining to Trump. You can look, the Russian bounties, so U.S. intel walks back claim Russians put bounties on American troops. That's the Daily Beast. So that never happened. That was fabricated outrage from people who wanted to keep Americans there forever. If it wasn't for President Trump, Biden wouldn't have been forced to withdraw Americans. I voted for President Trump because I want Americans home from never-ending counterinsurgency conflicts. So Daily Beast, U.S. intel walks back claim Russians put bounties on American troops. It was low to moderate confidence, just like the high to moderate confidence about Russia infiltrating the DNC in the Director of National ODNI report. I've been telling people for 4 years on this channel. My viewers know this, but if you've stumbled upon this channel, hit subscribe right now, because I've been telling people high to moderate confidence assessment is all the intelligence community has. The wonderful, very, very brilliant and intelligent intelligence community that's been right, or actually wrong, about everything from the Bay of Pigs to the Gulf of Tonkin to WMD to now Facebook ads and now Russian bounties. And so Biden did not sanction Russia on the bounties. Why? Because they never happened. Then you have I want to give you the bird's eye view, an aggregate view of what Trump had to deal with. Outgoing Syria envoy admits hiding U.S. troop numbers. Top official admits to lying to Trump on troop levels. Unelected federal officials have been lying about U.S. troop levels. Okay, so why were they lying to Trump about troop levels? Why did they fabricate a Russian bounty story? While at the same time, because they were lying about troop levels to keep Americans in those countries. They wanted to keep Americans in those countries, while at the same time claiming that Trump was a Putin puppet who allowed bounties on Americans. Well, if that was the case, think of it logically. If you really cared about the men and women who we have sent over there, who we should, for the past 20 years, in a never-ending counterinsurgency quagmire with no definition of victory, if you cared about them, you should bring them home. Don't you? I mean, it was President Trump. The reason I voted for President Trump, and the reason I used to be the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. You can go to hagoodman.com, read my writing in The Hill, the Huffington Post, the Roanoke Times, the Jerusalem Post, against counterinsurgency conflicts. I oppose this type of this type of foreign policy. It's a tragic mistake and tragic. It's the worst thing any country can get into. We should have learned the lessons from Vietnam, because we learned those lessons, and then Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld completely forgot those lessons. But here, you have the bounties that were completely like that never happened. Then you have officials lying about troop numbers to Trump, okay, just to keep them there. Before that, you had Clinton campaign DNC paid for research that led to Russia dossier, and the Durham Probe Special Counsel is looking all of this up. So, I mean, this is all part of, this could be part of the Durham Probe Special Counsel. All the lies told, all the deception told, not by Trump, by people who were lying to Trump and to his voters. People voted for President Trump to bring home Americans. That's exactly what he did. He spent 4 years trying to go up against a very despicable establishment on both sides. Republicans were investigating him as well. So just Clinton campaign, DNC paid for research that led to Russia. Okay, so you have the DNC and Clinton paying for the Steele dossier. Then you have, here's an Intercept article, what Mueller's latest indictment reveals about Russia and U.S. spycraft. The indictment is about Company One. Company One it was outsourced by the Democratic Party. The indictments list evidence or intel from Company 1. Okay? So you have, just look at everything from a bird's eye perspective, just from the aggregate. They lied to Trump and the American people about a dossier used to investigate Trump. They indicted intelligence officials from another country. I mean, these are the demagogues. These are the people who lie all the time and then complain that Trump lied. But there's no running tally of their lies. If you watch this channel and other channels, of course there is a running tally. But there's no, like, the Washington Post doesn't celebrate. Oh my God, the intel officials, the Democrats, media, Hollywood lied about here, this, that, and that. Oh my God, how many tens of thousands of lies would you get? But this, by the way, also, I mean, you could go ahead. The Washington Post literally fabricated quotes. So they fabricate. This is okay. How many lies have we heard now? Washington Post fabricated quotes pertaining to Trump in a phone conversation with a Georgia official. Okay, but they're always lying, like. It's unbelievable, too, because you have people who truly believe this. So these are just 4 examples of an entire political system leveled against one individual, one man, who they tried to claim was illegitimate. The big lie for 4 years was that he worked with Russia. He was not legitimate. He cheated. It's really funny. You even have Jimmy Carter, of all people, the good liberal Democrat. You have Jimmy Carter, of all people, saying, oh yeah, Russia cheated on Trump's behalf. It's like Democrats love to just feel morally superior at the expense of being immoral. And so U.S. intel walks back, claims Russia put bounties on troops. So that's the Daily Beast. You have talkandpurpose.com. Top U.S. officials admits lying to Trump on American troop levels. Okay. And the only reason we are leaving that region of the world is because in Afghanistan is because President Trump negotiated a withdrawal. It wasn't Biden or the neoconservatives or the Lincoln Project people, the absolutely disgraced Lincoln Project people. So the intel assessment was wrong, completely fabricated. They lied to Trump about troop levels, okay, to keep Americans there. They started the whole Trump-Russia nonsense with a dossier. This is the Washington Post. Clinton campaign, DNC paid for research that led to Russia dossier, okay? And here's the Intercept article. The indictments of Russian intelligence officials are only based on not U.S. intelligence, but information purchased. Okay, so it's interesting. The Intercept used to really be, have the Intercept used to really care about pointing out the holes, inaccuracies, or they used to care about looking at intel operatives or intel agencies and seeing if they're lying or not. This is hilarious. The Russians got caught because they didn't compartmentalize enough. It's like, yeah, none of this information. And then it talks about a whole bunch of things here that that nobody. This was all based on Company 1. CrowdStrike, that was outsourced by the Democratic Party, paid for. They paid for their whole myth. And you have reputable publications, The Intercept being one of them. And then you have, of course, just liberal publications around the country, the public relations machine, saying, oh, yeah, Trump and Putin, and oh my goodness, and oh my God. Those 4 stories alone should tell you that for the past 4 years, Democrats, media, social media, Hollywood, have been leveling this. You want to talk about the biggest lie? This is it's unbelievable, too, because you have people taking things that shouldn't be viewed at face value as, objective truth. If you ask a morally superior liberal Democrat, did Trump work with Russia? They'll say yes, based on the evidence. And then they won't realize the evidence, or they won't care that the evidence was purchased by Clinton. And the evidence was purchased in the indictments of 18 Russian intelligence officials. That the evidence they used to indict these people came from a third-party tech firm and their assessment, not from James Clapper or Brennan or Strzok or McCabe or Comey or anyone else being investigated by Mueller right now. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right now. They lied about the bounties. And that was during campaign and election season. And it was yet another, the Atlantic article alone. Remember the Atlantic article where Trump was quoted as saying, disparaging fallen Americans, which there was no evidence and he never did that? You cannot disprove a negative. You have to, if you make a claim, you have to back it up. You can't just say it's called journalism. That's the antithesis of journalism. It's called gossip and hearsay if you publish that somebody said something. How do we know? Because somebody told us. That's gossip. Where are the articles now of disgruntled former government employees coming out of the woodwork saying that Biden said this or that? You never get that. It's really it's the deceit didn't come from Trump. The deceit, you could say that in terms of being a president, yeah, did he lie? Okay, yeah, of course. All presidents lie. The deceit, Trump didn't lie as much as President Obama. Ask the people of Libya. In a failed NATO intervention that he said was done only purely for altruistic reasons. And then he left. And then there went the altruistic reasons. But it's like, Flint water. He drank Flint water. We can go on forever. Oh, he didn't know about his own Secretary of State with private servers for 4 years and top secret intelligence on those servers. He had no idea, even though he emailed Clinton on those servers. He lied all the time, President Obama. But anyway, give me your thoughts below. The most deception was the way Trump was covered. The hysteria, the media meltdown. Eventually, people had enough. But that's the thing. They didn't vote. Millions upon millions of people didn't vote for Trump or voted against Trump because of the media meltdown and because of the lies they were told. The bounty is one example. Give me your thoughts below.